Okay, so the holidays, as all of us know, can definitely be a bit tricky when you're in recovery. So I wanted to do a quick video because I know that for all of the American friends out there, your Thanksgiving is coming up, and then after that, for all of us, Christmas is coming up, and there's just a lot of elements in the holidays that can be triggering. So I just thought that I would give a few little tips or kind of words of wisdom from experience on handling the upcoming holiday season while in recovery. So, first of all, one of the reasons that the holidays can be tricky is because there's a lot of time with family, and unfortunately for some people, family can be a very triggering kind of environment, and it's hard to kind of escape that during the holidays. It's harder than, it can be during just the rest of the year. And then another reason is the food. So those are kind of, in my opinion, the two top reasons why the holidays can be an issue, because when you're in recovery for an eating disorder, things that revolve around food can be pretty tricky. So there's just a few little kind of tips, as I said, that I wanted to go through just to kind of hopefully encourage you and help you kind of get along, and maybe you can kind of reflect back on this video as you're going through the holiday season, and hopefully some of it is going to be helpful. So the first thing I want to talk about is being okay with messing up or slipping up. This is a really big thing in recovery in general, and the holidays are kind of extenuating circumstances in a certain sense. And even though life is full of extenuating circumstances and we need to learn how to manage those without just kind of using them as a cop-out to not carry on in recovery, we still owe ourselves some grace, and we owe ourselves gentleness and forgiveness. And so if over the holidays you slip up, maybe if you're struggling with binge eating disorder or with bulimia, maybe you go on a binge or you engage in compulsive eating behaviors. That's okay. Or if you are struggling with anorexia and maybe you restrict to compensate for, maybe thoughts of having eaten too much, or, if you're struggling with bulimia, if maybe you kind of maybe broke your good cycle and you purged. The important thing to realize is that's okay. You have to be gentle with yourself, and kind of my number one tip, and I'm kind of stealing this from Jenni Schaefer. If you haven't read her books, I highly recommend them. I'll put some info below about them, is do the next best thing. So if you have a holiday meal, family dinner, a lunch, something like that, and for whatever reason you feel like you slipped up in your recovery, you need to realize that's okay. You need to forgive yourself for that, be gentle with yourself, but you also need to do the next best thing. And so how kind of Jenni Schaefer defines the next best thing is, maybe you binged at lunch. What's the next best thing? The next best thing is to not skip dinner. The next best thing is just to have a normal sized dinner. Or, if you restricted over lunch, the next best thing is to have, again, a normal sized dinner. Or if you purged, the next best thing is to just, the next time a meal is coming around, to just do your best to just eat that meal and have that be okay. So it's about being gentle with yourself, but it's also about taking responsibility and not using kind of gentleness and forgiveness as a cop-out. It's about still moving forward with your recovery. So you're always doing the next best thing. What happens, and it's in the past. You did it. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. It's all part of the journey. And you just need to focus on what your next move is going to be, and making sure that that next move is going to be a healthy one. And I think that's a really important thing to remember. I did a video on the next best thing like forever ago, so I'll link to that in the sidebar just in case you're interested. I had a little bit more to say about that. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the holidays in general, and the fact that they can be scary. Anything that's triggering can be scary, and it can seem like this huge, horrible, awful thing, like this, not even a task, like this challenge or something that you just have to get through. And there's no enjoyment in that. And so I know these aren't really tips, but I guess my next kind of tip is, try your best to still enjoy the holidays. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit trickier because you're in recovery. But first of all, the good news is you're in recovery. Like, that's really good news. Recovery isn't easy, but life before recovery sucks. And so, even though recovery might make the holidays more difficult, imagine how much more difficult still the holidays were before you even entered into recovery. And so, take some time to just be thankful that you're here and you're recovering and you're on this journey. The fact that you're on this journey is huge, and that's something to be thankful for and to celebrate. And give yourself permission to enjoy the holidays and put some effort into that. And so even though it's going to be hard, and there's going to be moments that are going to be hard or that are going to suck, really focus on the good moments and the good things and the things that you love. So think about the things that you love about the Christmas season. So whether that's baking and decorating cookies or helping out making dinner with family, maybe that's certain Christmas music, maybe it's decorating your place out like to the nines. I was actually hoping I would have like a nice Christmas display right there in the background, but unfortunately I only brought home one of my boxes of Christmas ornaments, so I just like have half. Anyways, think of the things that you really love about the holidays and do those. If there's certain drinks at Starbucks that you like or certain activities, my family, they love to go on this kind of Christmas train ride, and make a list of the things that you love and commit to doing them. Even if you don't feel like doing them, sometimes it's best to go against what our mind is telling us we do or don't want to do and just do it anyway. So even if you love it, but you're just like, oh, I just don't feel up to it. I just couldn't be bothered. I'm having a crappy day. Do it anyways. Make it like a Christmas bucket list and make sure that by the time the holidays are done, you've done all of those favorite things. That's a really great way to kind of enjoy and make the most of them and to have something to focus on beyond your recovery too. So that's another tip that I would recommend. And I know that's just kind of 2 tips, but I have just like one kind of last thing to note. The holidays seem, like I said, they seem really big and really scary. And, when I was, kind of in the early stages of recovery, it was scary. Any holiday coming up, I was really afraid of what's going to happen, and it's going to trigger me, and I'm going to relapse, and it's so scary, and I was really scared of it. But what you need to realize is the holidays aren't bigger than you. Even though they may seem like they're bigger than you, they aren't. They're just holidays. And like I said, you can come up with a bunch of things that are going to, be things that you enjoy, that you can focus on, that are away from the negative, away from the triggers, and even away from recovery. And focus on those things, because at the end of the day, they're just the holidays. It's just Thanksgiving. It's just Christmas. It's no bigger than you are. And, just like recovery, sometimes your eating disorder, it seems like it's bigger than you, but it's not. You're much bigger than it. And the same goes for any aspect of recovery. So the same goes for the holidays. So I just really encourage you to remember that and to kind of cling to that and realize that it's not this, even though it seems like it right now, it's not this big, bad, scary monster that's bigger than you. You are much bigger than this upcoming season. You are much bigger than that. You are much bigger than your eating disorder. And your life is about so much more than recovery. So I encourage you over the holidays to, stay on track with your recovery. You don't want to just throw it out the window, but focus on your life. That's what recovery is for. Recovery is for your life and for building a life for yourself and being able to live it. So focus on that. Focus on living over the holidays. And I think that is going to make it easier. I know for me, that makes it easier. I wish that I had done that over a lot of the holidays while I was in recovery. And so that's just kind of my message to you guys. This wasn't as quick as I thought it would be, but anyways, I just wanted to say those couple of things. I hope that you found this encouraging and helpful. I hope that those of you who are already starting with kind of festivities and stuff, I hope that you are doing okay with it all. and I will talk to you guys really soon. Bye.